And there is no reason actually for us to take part in the talks. You go into the talks in order to avoid war. And now, in the midst of the talks, after 5 rounds, as we were waiting for the 6th round of the talks 2 days later, they started the attack. It was, a U.S.-Israeli attack. So there is no point for the Iranians to go into the talks. They would not earn anything, apparently, especially when the other side is Donald Trump. That's the most untrustworthy person that we know. So basically speaking, here, the climate is not going to the negotiations of any kind unless you have a completely changed Donald Trump in office.
Okay. So if you're not heading toward negotiations, are you potentially heading back to war sooner rather than later?
Well, why should there be a kind of war? Americans claim, especially Donald Trump, they claim that they have devastated the Iranian nuclear enrichment program. Well, if that's the case, there needs to be no war if that's true. While we do all know, including DIA intelligence report in the U.S. also said the same, that they've done their best, they've dropped their worst bomb, that's GBU-57, but they have failed to devastate Iran's Fordo nuclear facility, or they have inflicted partial damage to the machines, but not to all machines, not to all hulls, and not to the enriched uranium stockpile. So altogether, Donald Trump has done what he could alongside Israel. They did their best, but they have failed. They say that they have devastated everything. If that's the case, there's no point for another round of war. If that's not the case, then well, we should wait and see what they have up their sleeves, because they have done their best and they have failed. Actually, they have their move has backfired. They have changed Iran's nuclear orientation. Iran was the most transparent country at the IAEA. The largest number of man-hours of inspections have been carried out in Iran on Iranian nuclear facilities. But after Gروsi, the IAEA chief, set the stage for a resolution which paved the ground for the Israeli-American attack, now Iran has suspended its cooperation with the IAEA. It has backfired. My point here is that their moves, their hostile moves, are pushing Tehran to the corner to change its nuclear doctrine altogether, especially considering that, according to the latest polls, a larger number of people are demanding a nuclear bomb by Iran.
Okay, and that you've said the position of the United States and how Iran feels toward that, but Israel is also in the equation, and if Israel decides it feels threatened, it will go after Iran again, and the U.S. will likely back those actions. Is Iran ready for that kind of confrontation again? Is this helping anyone in the long term here?
Yeah, Iranians are getting ready the same way that Israelis are getting ready. Both sides have been trying to mend their air defense systems. They have been replacing and mending their air defense systems. Also, Tehran has warned that it will start using its modern arsenal of missiles that would be more devastating, carrying larger payloads, and they come faster, and they cannot be traced so easily. And they were not used in past attacks on Israel. Political and diplomatic support has been provided to Tehran for the past couple of weeks, especially after Russia's former president and prime minister Medvedev said that several countries are now ready to provide Iran with nuclear warheads. That was a great, support that they rendered to Iran. And there are a larger number of people in the region, the nations in the region, including the Qataris that brokered this ceasefire alongside the United States. Actually, they know pretty well that if full-fledged war ravages, starts and breaks out, this time it will, as Tehran has warned, that it will have no self-restraint this time, and a larger number of Iranian missiles that have been stored in tens of thousands will rain down on Israel. This tension will spill over into the entire region, which will end up, setting fire to the whole region, including the shutting off of the Strait of Hormuz, which will have dire impacts on the global economy. So those oil consumers and oil exporters both would not like to get entangled in such situation. So we do believe that the world is more, worried about the start of a new round of hostilities. But Tehran is not the party that wants to start the game. It's again Israel and the United States that are willing to set the fire to the whole region and the world.
How badly does Iran need what it always said was a civilian nuclear program? Is it more to make the point that Iran has the right to it, or because your citizens genuinely need it? In other words, is it worth this level of confrontation?
Definitely. It's a high-tech. It's the parent of tens of other technological and scientific branches. This is one part. Actually, the problem with Iran's nuclear program is not with its nuclear program. It's a problem, the United States problem, with Iran's power in the region, with Iran's missile industry, laser technology, satellite technology. As a matter of fact, they have a problem with Iran's total power. So even if you give up your nuclear industry, they would ask for your missiles, as they have been raising the question about it. And also they would go after your other power components. In the meantime, Iran is entitled, according to the NPT, that's entitled to a peaceful nuclear program, and there has never ever been any kind of IAEA report saying that Iran has gone after a military nuclear program. So the NPT is duty-bound to protect Iranian peaceful nuclear facilities. The IAEA never did that. NPT never did that. They have always acted the opposite. But now it has become a core of solidarity among the nation. If Iran has won something completely in the latest round of the war, that has been, the solidifying unity of the public that have been rallying around the government in support of the Islamic Republic. Even those that were out in the streets taking part in the riots 3 years ago, now they have appeared on social media in hundreds and thousands saying that they support their country against Israel and the United States. And these people now have started rendering support not only to the Islamic Republic, but also to its nuclear program. And as I said, a larger and rising number of people are now asking for the making of an atomic bomb by Iran in order to protect security of the country.
سرچ مدیا